Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Spoilers, obviously. I'm your host, Joel, and with me today, Moses Moon.
Hello, everyone. Man, spoilers obviously is such a good title. How did you come up with that?
Well, I have another podcast in Hebrew, same name in Hebrew, Spoilerim Minastam. And I don't know, when I wanted to start a podcast, I needed a subject. And my friend and I were talking a lot about movies, and I had so much knowledge compared to him. So it's like, okay, I have my subject. Now I need a
There you
name.
go.
And I had so many other names like Joel's Corner, because it's probably gonna be just me or whatever. Or like
Mm.
I don't know. And at some point I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about movies. So I'm obviously gonna give spoilers. So I'm obviously gonna give spoilers. So it's spoilers, obviously.
That makes a lot of
so
sense. Oh, great choice.
So yeah, that's how I came up with the name spoilers. Obviously,
It's beautiful. Absolutely
thank you,
beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me back on the show, man. It's a lot of fun.
Glad. Thanks for coming back and doing more episodes with me.
With
Um,
pleasure.
shall we get into it?
Let's do it. Let's set the banquet and eat. Haha.
So today we are going to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, a Marvel movie. What we saw in the movie, thoughts, and basically what is the future outcome of all the other movies. And before
Mm.
we actually do get into the subject, as of right now, when we're recording, Comic-Con was just like a few hours ago, a few days ago, and Marvel did announce a lot of movies and TV shows upcoming up till the year 2025. So
Wow.
yeah, that's, if I'm not mistaken, about 17 to 20 titles overall.
Shoo. That's
Yes.
a lot.
So or I will, we kind of talk vaguely about that towards the end of the episode and see what is basically the big picture Marvel trying to tell us. But until then, let's really get into Thor: Love and Thunder.
Let's do it.
In short, what would you rate this movie? What did you think of the movie?
Hmm. Mm. Well, man, like if you weren't prepared from Ragnarok, then I think you're gonna, or if you just didn't like Ragnarok, I didn't think you're gonna, if like people are gonna like it. I've been hearing mixed reviews, and like I came into the film with, I knew what TT was directing, so I was very open-minded to his style. I came in with one with an expectation and like one with a desire. Like one, I wanted to like it because yeah, I wanted to have a good time, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, I've kind of gotten used to the level of Marvel's the expectation of Marvel, which is, it's gonna be okay. It's either gonna be it's gotta be really bad to be like, oh, that sucked, or it's got to be really good to beat my expectations. So I came into it expecting about like, let's say a 6 on the expectation level, and I walked out with about either 6 and 3/4 or a 7 there. I enjoyed the film. Like it wasn't screaming in my face, and it was exactly kind of what I was expecting. It narratively sat well. The cinematography, some people had issues with it. I thought it was a treat. I thought it was like cotton candy for the eyes. And I liked some of the hints and directions that they were throwing out there. And I also, as a person who enjoys a good weapons or sword or like close up, a very like what do they call it? The masculine view, but instead of or masculine perspective, but instead of objectifying a woman, it's objectifying an item, aka a weapon. So I'm all for it. I had a
So
lot of fun.
first of all, you said it wasn't screaming on your face. I'm pretty sure the movie was screaming quite a lot, thanks to all the goats that were screaming
Oh,
every 2 seconds.
true enough. You know what? I thought you couldn't beat a dead horse, and But they whipped that out, and it was so left field. I was like, I'm for it. I'm all for the goats. Let's go.
So so this is first of all, you said your expectation were six, and you kind of were left out with six and a quarter. So it kind of sounds like you were not disappointed overall.
Yeah, I really, I had my popcorn, I had my like slushy, I was watching in a nice theater, and honestly, it was a good experience overall. The audience was, it was, all zoned in, everybody, no distractions. It wasn't boring them and it wasn't boring me, and I liked the pacing. I could go in, I will go into more details later on in this episode about, where I think the film struggled, but it wasn't something that overall like hindered my experience, and I liked it a lot. I don't think it's the best Marvel film, but I really like it. So, what about you, man?
So yeah, I definitely agree. It's not the best Marvel film. So I went to, I think, with the same kind of expectation that you had, like a six somewhere over there,
Mm.
and I was kind of left with maybe a five and a half,
Okay,
because,
okay.
or maybe I had an expectation even of a seven. The thing
It
is,
sounds like it.
the thing is, I know Taika Waititi. I've seen some of his movies, like Jojo Rabbit, amazing movie, hilarious,
Mhm.
and some of his other films, and I love his style. And the first Thor was a great movie. The second
Mhm.
Thor was complete trash. And because of that, they were debating if to continue the storyline of Thor as a single movie.
Mhm.
And then Taika Waititi came and said, like, hey, let me give it a try. And the MCU basically said, sure, no problem, but we're gonna put an eye on you. And the movie was a success. The Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok was a success. Amazing movie. The plot, the humor, the dynamic with everything, it was perfect. Now for this movie, he came like, okay, I want to do another movie, and they said, you did such an amazing job with Thor because we thought to stop with his storyline like as a single movie. You did such an amazing job. We will now give you 100% freedom. Do whatever you want. And he literally took it to his advantage, and you can feel it. You can like really feel it. Like the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, they said working with Taika Waititi is basically working with a grown-up child, and you can see it in this movie. And at some cases I was like, okay, this is funny, and at some cases I was, okay, you're milking this joke too much.
Mhm.
And it became like, okay, it's not fun anymore because you're milking something. Like, for example, you said you love the whole dynamic with the sword with the axe, and how there's like a love triangle over there. And for me it's like, okay,
Oh,
fun.
that was yeah, okay. So that's different between like showing the silliness of a
An object.
like sentient weapons. I wasn't referring to that. That
Mm.
was, if you're saying that joke was over repeated, I understand. But my like, let's say some of the focus, like generally when heroes have weapons and things of that nature, you don't necessarily get close-ups, or like you have two types of mindsets: those who romanticize the weaponry and like have nice close-ups and shots and showing that the weapon is powerful, uh, and or the skill of the wielder and that it's an elegant weapon. And then you have other shots where it's part of the story. It's not, the focus isn't on the weapon itself per se. And so with the, like, let's say, spoilers, Zeus's bolt, or the necro
Necromancer.
blade.
No.
It wasn't a
Necromancer is
necromancer.
something else.
Necro something blade. Like there was definitely like quick cuts that were very much focused on the weapon itself doing something. Not that it was sentient, some of them are, but the power that it exudes, you felt it because there was a weight behind knowing what the weapon could do prior. So something like that. Like a good example is scenes dedicated to Narsil. becoming Anduin, like in Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
We see it presented on in the shelf, and then we see it reforged, and Aragorn pulls it out, and there's uh, dedication and whatever. So similarly enough, like elements of Thor's hammer, because it's a key player in the narrative, especially for Jane Foster's character, as well as Thor wielding the new axe. I forget its name. My bad.
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. Thank you, Stormbreaker, and the whole dynamics between not just in narrative, but I mean later on as we see the Destiny Child and Thor run out, and obviously they have their places with what weapons they choose, etc. So that's more that I meant. Pardon the tangent.
So yes, so the thing is, we know how powerful the Stormbreaker is. We literally see, and if I'm not mistaken, in the movie Endgame, how he
Hmm.
creates the weapon. So we see how
Yeah.
powerful it is. Unlike Mjolnir, we never see how it was created. We do know it's been created the same way, but we still know it is very, very powerful. I'm not saying it's
Hmm.
not, but the thing is, we saw how this came to life, the Stormbreaker, and Mjolnir
Yeah.
we never did. We only know that Mjolnir is powerful because Odin put a spell on it, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so,
but there's time that's dedicated to prep the viewers and the screen, the scenes, with knowing the uh I don't know, special intimate time with the weaponry. So that's in particular more or less the notion, because when we see them being wielded, uh we feel the weight behind them.
yeah. Well, just like when Hela destroyed the Mjolnir, it's like, oh my god, she like
Everyone was like, oh.
yeah, like the fact that first of all she held it, it's like what the
Hmm.
fuck, and then she destroyed it. Like holy, like you felt the weight over there.
Yeah.
And in this movie, I kind of felt like these weapons are just weapons that are now
Hmm.
sentient in some way. It's like they have feelings. It's like,
Well, at least Stormbreaker.
yeah, at least Stormbreaker does. It's like, in this comes the running gag that is like, okay, this is funny the first time, it's not funny the second time. And unlike the goats, for me personally, okay, it's funny the first time, funny the second time. Okay, the third one, it's not funny anymore. And then for some reason, I have no idea why, what broke me completely, and I was laughing my ass off, is when the goats flew in the moon and they just crashed over there, and then and then they just started screaming. I was laughing for that little scene for about 5 minutes.
Hmm.
I couldn't stop. And it was like after, like, okay, this is not funny anymore. And then I see that, like, okay. So there are a lot of jokes over here, like, okay, it's funny, it's funny. Okay, stop. It's not funny, it's not funny, it's funny. And then like it's funny again. And
Hmm. That's kind
Stormbreaker,
of Taita's style, though, in some manners. Like, again, he had full range of it.
yeah. And well, the thing is, he did it with almost all of his jokes in this movie. Almost all the
Hmm.
jokes he did, he tried to milk it as much as possible. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, well, guess what? I don't care. I'm just gonna milk this because it's funny to me. So
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, someone's gonna be like, "This is the funniest movie ever."
I had a lot of a audience who were laughing on very stupid or immature stuff, like when you see in the
Mm.
beginning of the movie when they battle those little bird creatures thing, and
Yeah.
he does like a stupid face, and the person behind me was laughing his ass off. Like, what's so funny about that? It's like I don't
Just,
get it.
generic alien racism. He looks
Yeah,
different. It's funny.
yeah, no, if
We're
it
clearly above that. Clearly different race. It's all
well,
right.
clearly we're not peasants like they are.
Ha! Peasantry. Also, quick, mild. It was in Infinity War, right? Which
Yeah.
is when Stormbreaker was made, because he
Stormbreaker,
comes at the
no,
end.
yeah, was
Or
it?
or no, no, no. Well, which is the one where he, like, because he comes with Stormbreaker, and cuts into him and he's like, "You should have gone for the head," and then
Yeah.
snaps. So
So
that's
no, so
Infinity
at
War.
Endgame, at Endgame he creates a Stormbreaker because
Isn't Endgame
is after Infinity War.
right when
No,
now I'm getting confused
so you have Infinity
because
War when the big battle when Thanos collects all the stones and then
right,
basically dust everyone.
right,
And he should,
but
yeah,
just
okay,
before
okay, yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Oh wow.
uh,
Oh geez.
I best you at your own wit. Ha!
Yes. Well, 1 point for Moses, 0 points for myself.
And the and the game continues.
But anyways, so the movie starts with we see Thor planting Mjolnir into the ground, and he says that he's done fighting. He started fighting, and he just because he's bored of it, and he just wants to fight whenever he's really needed. And immediately
Yeah,
after that, he's needed, and
yeah.
he immediately did Harry Potter style. He took Mjolnir and wrote it off, which that was like okay,
So
that's
flying on
funny.
Stormbreaker as the like a broom, witch's broom. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do see the handle has a branch, not branches, but roots, because
Hmm.
it is from a
Part
Groot.
of Groot's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, so it's still so that could kind of say, oh, tell us yes, it's still alive because it is growing. So
Wait,
like,
which
oh
came first, the exposition of Thor or the exposition of was it Gore, the God Slayer?
oh no, yeah, sorry, we start with Go the God Butcher.
Butcher, yes.
We first start with that. We see Christian Bale as Go the God Butcher, and I have to say, I feel bad that they didn't do the original look, because according to the comics, he doesn't have a nose. His face, like how Ultron's
Bad
face.
guys don't have nose.
No, but you know how Ultron, his face is like kind of like clean.
Yeah. As an
So
Ultron-y, yeah. I
and
brought up a picture.
exactly. And he has those like tentacles, like Ahsoka from Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Taika Waititi said, "I'm not going to try to do that look because everyone is going to joke about him because he looks a lot like Lord Voldemort." It's like,
Yep. I
dude,
think that's a fair point though. I
I don't,
mean,
I don't think it is because
if
look,
you Google right now villains with no noses, watch how many pop up.
no, I know, but the thing is, Ultron looks amazing and he doesn't have a nose. He has a clean, flush, face over there. Voldemort, on the other
Hmm.
hand, he has like little holes. So it's like, yeah, that's weird. And also, Voldemort is supposed to be a human being compared to this
Mm.
guy is supposed to be an alien. So, it's a lot easier to believe his face will look without a nose. His face, Voldemort doesn't have a nose. That's weird. But
Fair
so
enough.
so Taika Waititi decided, no, I'll make him look like human. At least give him the tentacles, man.
I
But
mean, that would have been cool. I've been down. But like that's another like thing between adaptation versus the source material.
yeah.
It didn't detract away from the story, and like for me, I think Christian Bale did a phenomenal job. I mean, they kind of felt like they dragged him into this, but at the same time, he's such a
He
great actor.
he wasn't enough.
Hmm.
Like I think like what the movie is 2 hours long. I think overall, and this is me guessing, he was just 14 minutes in the movie.
Yeah, it was very little, unfortunately. It would have been a nice to have like the opening was a nice like okay, this is how he chooses to leave his understanding and pursue the death of the gods, and then onwards.
So
It would have been nice to see a little more, but at the same time, like because he was such a vibrant, like he stole the show every time he was on the screen. In my opinion, that not that it wasn't enough, but it was definitely a lot.
yeah, he definitely stole the show even before he became the God Butcher. But
Mm,
this is the thing. The movie, personally for me, was good whenever he was on the screen. Whenever he was not on
Mm,
the screen, it's like a childish movie. What really also
yeah.
bothered me, they made Thor a lot dumber than he actually is. Like, look at all the previous movies. Dude, this
Mm.
guy's a small person. And over here, it's like, nah, I'm dumb. I'm going to do like stupid, childish things. It's like, what's going on over here? Like, I feel like you recreated Thor as a child in a grown man's body.
Do you think that type of vision or character change or more fixation, I guess, I don't know, uh, was present in Ragnarok?
No, I don't think it has been in Ragnarok like that. And that is such of a tone that it was in this movie. Like I really
Mm.
feel like, let's say the first, all the movies before Ragnarok, let's say Thor was 8, his knowledge, his how smart he is, it was 8.
Mm.
Let's say Ragnarok, it was 7. Over here, I feel like he's a fool.
I don't know. That wasn't something that I particularly like noted and was like, oh, like this is he feels dumber. Like it's just for me that's like the direction style. He was still knowledgeable. He knew where the kids were, and he was very like, oh, we're gonna go to the gods. Like this was also a fetch quest movie kind of deal of go here, we'll do this, we'll go here, we'll
Mhm.
do this, and then so similarly, it's just like okay, uh, but he knew. I mean, he knew what he was doing more or less until we learned that the Bifrost was the key to eternity. So
Which that was like, wait, how is a Bifrost?
I don't. Okay, so a lot of people had a lot of problems with this. I don't like. Oh, how can you not go to this location if the Bifrost already? If you already had it, you could just go. Like to
n-
me, that's not a plot
Not
hole at all.
not only that, why did he need Stormbreaker? Why not Mjolnir? Mjolnir can also summon the Bifrost. We see it in the all the other previous movies. It's like, what's
I
going
don't
on?
think I think in the continuity, I don't think we've actually seen Mjolnir actually wield the Bifrost. We've seen when Heimdall was still kicking around is when Mjolnir's continuity was, and so when he was able to wield it at that point, it was Heimdall that was using the Bifrost to connect everybody. And so then in the MCU's edition, that when Stormbreaker was created, it was mentioned that you could potentially wield the power of the Bifrost through this, not Mjolnir.
Well, I guess I missed that. I think I'll need to do my
I'll
research
have to
about
check that
that.
out again, but I'm pretty sure every time that Thor with Mjolnir has ever used the Bifrost, he always calls the Heimdall.
No, yeah, that is for sure. We do see in Infinity War, yes, Thor does use the Bifrost and comes from the dying
Hmm.
planet star back to Earth.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever mentioned how that was possible.
Because he used Stormbreaker.
No, I know, but I'm saying I don't think they mentioned up till now.
No, because even before that, the dwarf, I forget his name, uh,
Ye-
played by Peter Dinklage, says that you could wield the power of the Bifrost. This is prior to its
So
just when they're about to smelt it.
so I this is what I'm saying. I'll need to see that again and make sure. But
Yeah,
anyways, so going
I'm
back
pretty
again.
confident with this one.
No, no, no problem. I do want to mention something because religion, and this movie is a lot about gods. And in the
Hmm.
beginning of this movie, when Gore kills that god that he prays for, first of all, there's many gods like I'm the godson, the god, the son, not godson. I'm the god of the sun. You have multiple gods who, like, let's say in Egyptians, and we see in the
Hmm.
Moon Knight a lot of gods. I'm the moon god, I'm the sun god, I'm
Yeah.
this is death god. And it's like, okay, let's say I pray to the sun god or moon god. which God am I praying for? Like, which religion am I praying for? There's so
Depends
many.
on your intent. If you're like, I don't think in the MCU's universe the gods are real, and if you're addressing someone, with your intent, it's like a basic form of magic. It's like
Mhm.
you're praying to the specific deity that you're praying to. It's not just the colloquial plethora of various gods related or deities related to that particular thing.
Okay. So
I mean,
I
it's just an explanation. I have never heard in world because I've never thought of it as an issue.
Yeah, no, neither did I. But I'm now looking like, okay, you did show us all these gods, and obviously some gods have the exact same job. So as a regular person, if I pray to the sun, to which God am I praying to? But anyways, what I want to talk about the very beginning when Go kills the god,
Hmm.
and he basically says, "All of you, like the god before he kills before Go kills the god tells him like, your purpose is to die and serve me. What's after death is nothing. I don't care about you. You are a pet. You are an animal to me." And for me as a religious person, like when the day comes and I pass away and I meet the God that I believe in, that would be a really shitty thing to like like holy shit. It's like
Well, what it
it
would
doesn't
give you
like
that pure that feeling to, if exactly that, to feel some form of empathy with the Gore's character.
yeah, and it's like if I were to in the God that I believe in would be like, yeah, you mean nothing to me. Go fuck yourself. It's like, well, what the fuck? It- and it's they hit so on point with that,
Mm.
and it's amazing how it's not only with that specific god. I don't know what the name of that god, but you see throughout the movie all the other gods like, yeah, we don't care. And also on Moon Knight, in Moon Knight there's a lot of gods over there. You kind of get the vibe of the gods don't really care about human being or lower life people. They
Very
like
deistic or deistic theology.
yeah, and it's like, okay, so if this is true, should I stop believing in a God? Like, yes, this is a movie, but let's for a second look at it as a real life thing. Obviously, I
Hmm.
cannot talk to my God, and my God can talk to me like face to face as we are talking. But but that the thing is, should anyone believe in a God if, as what we get from this movies, all gods are basically assholes?
Well, it really depends on your point of theology because like a deistic is like a god depending on your particular point of view set the world into motion and then turn their back. Or to some factor which a lot of the MCU's kind of like focusing on from Zeus's point of view or even the Egyptian gods where it's like, oh, humanity like stopped worshiping us or their thoughts turned more inwards as other things arose and so we drew back or uh et cetera, or that we cause calamity and like walking amongst them is dangerous and so on and so forth. So it depends on your view, but I think if a movie like this, as simple as it is, and maybe not the most excellent of films, but to create or spark critical thinking in this regards, I think it's really good, especially in particular to people who have particular religious views. I think, though, one can take comfort in their particular points of view because depending on the text and the religion you follow, you should get a feel or sense of the deity or philosophies behind what you believe and take comfort in what they say. Of course, the MCU saying, okay, well, there are gods who are saying that they love you, but they don't really care. Uh, in my opinion, again, like it doesn't stop the value of like living a decent life, especially if the texts are very like prominent. Like take a look at Judeo-Christianity and the formation of America and the founding properties in what inherited and through its people and its history to become one of the best nations on the earth with the ideals of uh, like morality to the point of getting rid of the slave trade and equal rights and so on and so forth, and things for the benefit of all mankind. So yeah.
So religion did really affect the way of life throughout our history. If you look back in time, you had all these other religions. You had Christianity, Judaism, and you had people who believed in Thor, people who believed in Zeus, and all that. And a lot of wars were caused because you don't believe in the God I believe in, therefore I'm going to kill you. And as we can see, the religion that is most common nowadays is Christianity, because they basically, you could say, they won most of the world.
I mean, depends on how you read history. Part of that was also through martyrdom. A lot of countries or people who, I mean, I'm not particularly taking out as saying Christianity won its way by the sword, but in particular, that even like it could have died out at the very beginning, but it's like the believers in the very beginning were just simple folk like you and me who just held on to the faith. They were persecuted, crucified, burnt at the stakes, put into the Roman games, etc., etc. So it's a different dynamic or so. But if you're speeding up to the Crusades, for me, I don't think that's a justifiable, let's say, outlook on history, as it was more of a 400-year response, as in like a response to 400 years of Islam moving up the coast into Spain. But that's a whole different story. Welcome to the History Channel. Spoilers, definitely, obviously.
Talking about movies and talking about religion and history, and not about movies.
But honestly, though, like that's a good thing. Like if that's a type of thought that you walked away with from Thor, of all movies, like why not?
So yeah, no. So I walked away from with that thought with the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could literally do a whole conversation about religion and gods, just about that 5 minutes. The rest of the movie is, let's put basically that conversation aside, and let's see
Mm-hmm.
how basically this guy who see all gods are basically a-holes and are liars, so let's just kill them. And this is his mission. This is what he swears to do. And I have to say, I obviously, I don't have any beef with my god. But I don't blame him. I'm like, yeah, dude, as we see over here, all the gods are a-hole. The only one god that isn't, as what we see, is Thor, and from Moon Knight, Tawet, the hippo god. Those are
Ah,
basically the
yes.
only two
Well,
from
what
the.
about Odin? I mean, Valhalla exists.
Sorry, Odin. Hela herself even said, "You know how many people we killed just to build Valhalla." So,
That's very true. But I mean, do you have an afterlife?
uh, you have an afterlife. Every religion, as they explained to us in Moon Knight, every religion has an afterlife. It just depends on what religion you choose. As we see, Thor does tell us you go to Valhalla if you die in battle. Jane
Right.
did not die in battle, but she did believe in Valhalla, and she did go at more Viking towards the end of her life. And
I mean,
Tawet
she
did
was
explain
fighting cancer, so
she was fighting cancer. Well,
different battle,
it's a different battle. But
but apparently usable.
yeah, but according to what Tawet tells us, it what you believe in when you die, that is where you go. I could be a Christian my whole life, or Muslim, or a Jew, or a guy believe in Thor, or all the other different religions, and at
A
the end of
pagan.
a pagan, exactly, and at the end of my life, I can be like, you know what? I believe in a completely religion that I believed up till now, and I will go to that heaven according to what they tell us. So Jane, the fact that she went to Valhalla at the end, even though she didn't die in battle, okay, cancer, she died in cancer and cantle, it's on battle. She did
Potentially.
believe in Valhalla at the end because she did believe in Mjolnir and the power it can give her.
She
So I
was
can,
a Thor, so
and she wasn't a Thor herself. So I can understand why she went to Valhalla at the end.
mm,
Just like Steve and Moon Knight, who went to the Field of Reeds. Amazing, amazing show.
I enjoyed Moon Knight. A lot of people didn't like that, but
I think it's
uh,
as of right now the best show.
hmm, huh. I haven't thought about what the best show is.
The worst one is Captain Miss Marvel
All right, I
by
still have
far.
yet to see that potentially.
So,
We'll see.
so the biggest conflict of this movie was how is Jane worthy to hold Mjolnir? Are you really going to tell me she is as worthy as Captain America? She is like in that level, and
I mean, it
I'm
was explained in the movie. I don't,
exactly
even though it was expositioned by someone who wasn't there, and by reference to someone who didn't remember that night. So,
so
question.
so I have to say they gave a good answer of how she can wield Mjolnir. At first, I thought like, okay, she had this Infinity Stone inside her, that liquid thing. I forget the name of it,
Mm-hmm.
and that probably what gave her cancer. And because it was in her blood, yes, it's not in her blood anymore. So you could say it maybe changed a little something in her DNA, and therefore she can hold Mjolnir just like Vision can hold Mjolnir. He has a stone. So
Mm,
I thought, like, okay, maybe they will go with that direction. But no, they went with a
interesting.
different direction. I was like, you know what? It's not the best, but it's acceptable.
I personally didn't mind it. Listen, like Odin's passed on. Uh, it's a good little hint that Thor has the same kind of abilities that his father would. Even more so, it sets up the factor at the end, the battle with between the children and the dark creatures and Thor and Gore,
Yes.
and all their names happening to rhyme. But yeah, like look. Vision is a pure creature. The stone is like what is the Mind
The
Stone,
Mind
right?
Stone. Yeah.
Pure consciousness. I think that alone, it's not the stone itself, it's just what the stone pertained. If it was, I don't know. If it was any other stone, I don't think he would have been able to wield it.
Well, because it's the Mind Stone and it is like your thoughts and how pure you are. When Vision is being created, you can see like the download of him being created and how Ultron is basically transferring himself into Vision.
Hmm.
So you see about, if I'm not mistaken, between 60 to 70% that Ultron transferred himself into Vision. In
Yeah.
when they killed off Vision,
Yeah. Again.
and again, I was expecting at some point to get Ultron back because he did download like 70% of himself inside Vision. So I
Hmm.
was I was expecting to like, okay, that this is a possibility, but we didn't get that. But the thing is, yes, so the stone, it depends on your purpose of what you want to do with that stone.
For sure.
So I can understand why he was able to wield Mjolnir, but I will accept what they did with Jane. How Thor told Mjolnir, promise me you will always protect her,
Mm.
which also tells us she could have wielded this entire time. It's
Yep.
like, you know, the last time Thor, saw Mjolnir is when Hela destroyed it, which, if I'm not mistaken, was 2015 MCU timeline.
I guess.
Well, anyways, and ever since then, it was on the floor. And the reason why we didn't have Mjolnir in any of the movies since then is because no one thought, like, hey, She destroyed the hammer. She didn't destroy the spell Odin put on it. So
Hmm.
that's what actually why it still works. So if Captain America he himself would have gone, let's say, at Endgame or Infinity War, if he would have gone and like, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up, it would have worked. It doesn't matter who would have gone. It's like as long as you would have gone and you are worthy, if it's
Yeah.
Bill, Jane, or Captain America, the hammer would have picked up, and fixed itself. And I did hear a
Hmm.
lot like people like, why only now did it fix itself? And it's not like why now, is that no one went to it up till now since it was broken.
No one was like, oh, we can fix this. If Thor has left it, then there's no way. Like, it's why it's in memorial.
Yeah. And I loved how they put in the memorial. They picked up the ground around it because no one
Yeah.
could pick it up. It's like, okay, that's
Hmm.
a nice touch you put over them. So in the movie, you see Thor, Chris Hemsworth. You see his wife and all three of his kids are in this
I didn't
movie.
know that. Had no idea.
So at the very beginning of the movie, when they give us a history of Thor and how he became Thor, you see a little baby. That's
Hmm.
his son. Then you have a
Okay.
little kid running. That is his other son.
Hmm.
And then you have Gor's daughter, who later in the movie becomes Love, and she's now a sentient, universal creature, and that's his daughter.
No way. So that's actually his daughter. Ah, I should have known that. Jeez.
And his wife was also in the movie. She was also in Thor when they in the after credit when Thor and Jane kissed. So the actress Natalie Portman was not able to show up, so his wife put a wig and all that, and they kissed
I
for
did
that
hear
scene.
that.
But for this movie, so when the rock person, I forgot his name.
Korg.
Yeah,
I'm
Korg.
Korg. I'm a rock.
I love it. So when he tells us, let me tell you a story about Thor, and then we see, and then he was with a wolf lady on a lady
Mm.
wolf. So that wolf
Yeah,
lady is his wife.
that's hilarious.
So
That's
yeah, his
amazing.
entire family was in this movie, which is
Amazing.
absolutely hilarious. But his firstborn daughter is now an actual MCU character that we are going to see in future films, which is like,
That's amazing.
that's awesome. Here you're gonna have like a father daughter bonding time in other movies. But we can see here a little pattern. You see Thor now is a mentor to this girl. You
Mm-hmm.
see Hawkeye is a mentor to this girl. You
Yep.
see where Doctor Strange is a mentor to America, which is a girl. You
Yeah.
see, yes, they are
Where are
building.
you going?
They are building Young Avengers, which is awesome.
Hmm.
But female Young Avengers,
It
it's like
will it will speak we'll see how it goes because like again
fucking
the numbers will
Disney.
speak for the everybody will say look if it's only girls like sure we'll watch it and we'll see how good it is if it's good and it stands on its own merit awesome if it doesn't then it's just for the sake of it you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
have no problem with it. Like, and also we have Miss Marvel, which I complete fucking hate. She's obviously going to be Captain America's little mentor, not mentor, but a student.
Is Captain America in
N-
the oh oh
Not Captain America, Captain Marvel. Sorry, Captain Marvel.
right
Yeah, not
right.
Captain America. Sorry, mistake. But
Hmm.
anyways, you have all these now female characters who are going to be in the Young
Wait, is
Avengers.
Captain Marvel in Miss Marvel?
Do you want the spoiler? It's spoilers, obviously.
I am in the show for a reason.
So yes, she is in the show at the last episode at the after
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah, just like oh, I finally meet my hero.
Oh no, she doesn't meet her hero. They change
She's,
bodies.
oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no. Oh.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
So but yeah. But anyways, you have all these characters who are going to be in the Young Avengers, which is awesome. And it's not a problem for me, but we already saw Marvel doing this, female power in the end game, and they
Hmm.
blew it. It was
Yep.
absolutely horrible, and it was a big mockery. And I feel they're trying to do a justice for that in a better
Hmm.
way. And you know what? If it works, if it works, it works, and I'm all for it. But if it's
And we also
again,
have She-Hulk coming out.
oh fuck, man, I'm not excited for that.
I mean, to be honest, the fact that Bruce is in it,
The CGI
well,
is horrible.
but Marvel has always been known for horrible CGI.
No, not like this. Not like this.
Not like this. Are you kidding me?
Did you see the latest trailer from the Comic Con?
I
It's
did not.
it's
Is it
it's
atrocious?
it's atrocious and atrocious. It's
You're
horrible.
gonna have to show me. You gotta send me a whole bunch of links. I gotta watch all these stuff.
I will. But anyways, I'm okay with them doing all this women power as long as it's told in a good way.
Which point in case, Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's character, was told excellent. I was worried that they were gonna be like all in his face and like Thor was gonna be the little guy, but they balanced each other really well. It wasn't one over the other, and Jane's story and narratively justified her to be powerful and whatever. And she also had underlying things which made her feeble and like vulnerable, and why she was focused on being Thor or a Thor. And it not once did it throw me out of the movie where I was like, this is just women power. Like this is I was like, I'm all for it. Like,
Yeah,
man, she's
I loved
struggling,
it.
she's got this, like, let's go. And at the end, she like chooses to sacrifice. It's why, and there's a consequence for it. She dies. Spoilers. Uh, yeah, and they had the guts to do that. I was very impressed. I was, pleased, satisfactorily, narratively pleased because it fit all the criteria, and it was like, yeah, and that's what happened. She chose to do this to save the day. She did save the day, and rightfully so, because it was a difficult situation, but there was a consequence for it, and it actually followed through. And I was like, all right, hats off.
Yeah,
Like, if that, I don't know whose call that was, but good on them.
so I'm pretty sure it was Taika Waititi. In the comics, she does die,
Hmm.
and she does go to Valhalla. Spoilers: she does come back to life.
That makes sense. If you can get to Valhalla, you can come back. Like,
but no, I totally I love that, and I love the fact that we saw Heimdall.
mhm.
I wished if we could have got maybe a few more minutes, or at least like, is Loki here? Because as what she's supposed to know, Loki
Mm.
died and never came back to life. As what we know, the Loki from 2012, he did change the timeline. He
Mhm.
is now has his own TV shows, so he's basically gone. But
Well,
she's supposed to, like, is Loki here or whatever? And I would have, obviously the answer would be no, and that would have been like, so where is he? Like,
mhm.
obviously we know the
That
answer,
that
but
does leave a question though, because in the normal timeline,
so yeah,
he
I have,
dies by Thanos,
yes,
but they went back even further
to
and
2012.
he disappeared and he created a different tangent.
Yes.
The original timeline hasn't been corrected,
Nahon, the original time, which means everything was changed and corrupted, so
which I'm waiting for Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm to
and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania
Wasp,
with
Quantumania. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
with Kane the Conqueror.
Yep. Well,
Which,
by the way, Loki, the show,
yeah, amazing
amazing.
show. I did an amazing job.
Owen Wilson, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Amazing. Not even once did he utter it, but everyone on the inside just
Yeah.
wow.
So Taika did tell us that he wants this movie to be as far as possible from the Endgame movie. So according to
Hmm.
the timeline, not according to phases, okay, according to the timeline, Endgame happens in 2023.
Hmm.
Okay, so Thor: Love and
That's next
Thunder,
year.
yeah, that's next year. So basically, we're still in the 5-year gap of everyone is dust.
Of the blip. Yeah.
Yeah. So Thor: Love and Thunder in the MCU timeline takes place in 2026.
Was that
They
confirmed? Because yeah, there was a lot of like the exposition at the beginning gave room for a lot of stuff to have happened, including different stuff with the Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we end Endgame with Thor goes with the Guardians, and he tells us like we are the Asgardians of the galaxy, and everyone's like, oh my god, we're gonna have like movie called the
Nope.
Asgardians. And I'm glad, as much as I want to see that movie, I'm glad we did it. They told us in short, basically, in the last 3 years, we've gone on a lot of adventures and we saved people, and now I'm bored with my life. And
Yep.
then,
And,
and then
all the crew hates Thor.
basically, and then they basically split off their own ways.
Yep.
And I believe Guardians 3 will show us their adventure and obviously find Gamora and all of that.
Hmm.
But yeah, but
We'll
yeah,
find out.
yeah, we will definitely find out. But yes, this movie chronologically takes place in the year 2026. There is nothing
Mhm.
that I have noticed in the movie that confirms it, other than
Mhm.
they told us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could probably look at like little snippets of Asgard at this point because we see now that it's a tourist town.
Mhm.
Probably extrapolate how much time it would take to set something like that because it's not overnight, and also those Old Spice commercials,
Oh my god,
beautiful.
I think I was the only one in the theater laughing his ass off when I saw Old Spice.
I I also was like brilliant. There was a few others, but not,
Not
you
a lot.
know,
Because
they're just so
these are
perfect.
like American jokes, and like this is like everyone like in America and Canada, like this is
Mm.
what you see
We
all the
love Old
time.
Spice.
Exactly, but over here,
Yeah,
like in Israel, it's like
we know the absurdity.
exactly,
Yeah,
it's
in
like
Israel, we
what?
don't. We only in Super Farm can you get Old Spice, and
Yeah,
it's only just catching on.
exactly.
Uh, even
So
though like The Witcher did a stunt with Old Spice. Did you see that?
no, I don't think I did.
Oh, well, you should. You should search Witcher commercial Old Spice.
I
If you've seen The Witcher, then if
Oh,
you haven't,
yes,
watch those
yes, with
first, and then
Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill. Absolutely, they
man
announced
crush of my life.
yes, they announced season 3,
Cannot
and
wait.
I love the fact that he's a gamer, which is amazing.
Yeah, Warhammer. Now that's a lore that's extensive, but it's good. It's good.
Yes. So back to the movie, I
Mm,
I love overall I love the storyline. It is a
mm,
good storyline, and a lot of people did say this movie does not affect the MCU timeline at all. And
yeah.
I disagree with it. Yes, the
Mm,
majority of the movie is not relevant to the bigger picture as of right now. But
mm-hmm.
the end of the movie, when they went and they saw that weird galaxy being
Yeah,
I-
eternity.
eternity. So eternity is a being that is a part of the galaxy, and the galaxy is a part of him. He is
Hmm.
one with the galaxy, and the galaxy is one part of him. The thing is, you have the multiverse, which is
Hmm.
what we are in now.
Yeah.
Then, if I'm not mistaken, you have the omniverse, which is right like above that. And then
Mm.
you have the ultraverse or the megaverse. I forget the name of it. And then you have like three.
I'm
So
gonna have to
the
double check on that because I mean I watched What If and I remember some of
so
the
no
like.
so as of right now, we're only touching about the multiverse. We're only like
Mhm.
the MCU as
Yeah,
of right now
Doctor
only talk
Strange and Spider Man and
exactly.
yeah,
But the thing is, they are beings in between who are like,
yeah.
okay, I'm the watcher of the multiverse, of the entire multiverse, not like the watcher we see in What If,
What If? Yeah.
but like, no, I see even above you. Then you have, I know, I see above you because I'm from the omniverse, and then I'm from the ultra, whatever, all of that. The thing is, the last is it omniverse or mega, whatever, the very last
Mm,
one, let's call it the megaverse.
yeah.
That is includes everything, not only Marvel, it includes Disney, it
DC. Yeah.
includes Harry Potter, Lord of the
Yep.
Rings, it
Yep.
includes everything because we are the people who created that.
Yep.
So yes, if they do continue
The
with,
fourth wall.
yeah, basically, if they do continue go out into all the other universes, omniverse, megaverse, and all that, we could potentially see Marvel fighting Lord of the Rings, and that'd be like,
I,
it'll be
I
weird.
doubt that's gonna happen.
It's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be like, okay. But the
My
thing,
thoughts of the direction of Marvel is that they're gonna hint at the like symbiote war,
mhm,
which transcended like it's even more so than the like multiverse war,
mhm,
because already we don't know the origin of Sanchi's rings. We don't know, we have been introduced to the Black Knight, and we're hinted that the Black Knight's sword has the symbiote qualities. We know that a piece of the symbiote has been left over since Spider-Man, which all those things point towards what's his name? Basically Satan. And also Galactus and all those things, but more so, and we're learning about incursions and the ending of Doctor Strange. He meets what's her face, and she's really hot and cool, uh,
okay,
bringing us,
I forget her name.
yeah, we'll get dead. And she's gonna take him into his storyline into the dark dimension. But I think there's gonna be other ties. Anyways, I think the symbiote angle is going to be very, very strong, especially since Wanda's story was originally taken from that because she made a deal with the devil in the comics, basically. And there are some other things. They don't touch it here, and he's not the devil, but he's someone who's prolific
He's,
and
yeah,
strong.
he's the one who created the symbiote, and
Exactly.
the thing is, Gore's weapon, the sword,
Is
is a
also,
symbiote. And the
yeah.
thing, it's annoying that they kill off bad characters. Like, you don't have to, because you know he is an amazing evil character, and you
Hmm.
can continue with him onwards. But now the fact that you killed him, it's like, you kind of,
But now we
you,
have Hercules coming into the
yes,
story, and that's going to lead to the God Bomb, which if they don't do that, then I've missed everything. But uh, and that's a thing. That's a quite an event, which can lead to a bunch of things. And I think, especially with the Eternals and whatnot, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have those angles set up. Everybody's guessing at this point, but I'm pretty sure like there's very strong evidence that this is sitting in this direction.
this movie did kind of hint to, potential god bomb, but Thor was able to stop it. You did mention Eternals, and I totally wanted for them to mention or explain something to us, because Eternals, as we know, they are eternal. And they did tell us Athena, or Thena, she played, acted as if she is the god Athena.
Hmm.
And Athena is a Greek goddess. And
Yep.
in this movie, we see Zeus, who is a Greek god, and
Yep.
I wanted to see, or them to mention, yeah, Athena from Eternals is bullshit, and this is the real goddess Athena, or like explain something over there like that, because
That would have been a nice touch. I think that they gave that to a throwaway line at a Jesus reference.
yeah, because you basically now telling me there is a potential there's two goddess, that one is a fake and one is real, but
Hmm.
are the same god. you know if the eternal Athena is the fake one, why did the
Yep.
real one let the fake one act as she is her, and maybe even butcher her name? So I don't know that.
Avatars. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
Who
something I
knows?
would have loved for them to explain or
A little
talk about.
clarification.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that until now. That's interesting.
I did love how Thor gave all the kids his power, but he said for no potentially, not potentially for a brief moment.
A brief. Yeah.
It's like
I thought that was
he
great.
he had to think about it. Like whoever is worthy will have the power of Thor for a brief
Temporarily.
time.
Yeah, that
Like
had me cracking up. Some of my friends did not like that. I was like, it was clearly set up, ever since Odin spoke. So I was like, yeah.
yeah. I was also expecting a Thor to become a Thor alternate. I forget the name of it. He finds the dust of Odin and he
Mm.
collects it and he
Odin's
becomes
Thor or Thor Odin, something like that, or
yeah he
grandfather Thor,
yeah grandfather like yeah it becomes something that like
father Thor, I think is what it is.
so yeah and he becomes way more powerful. I was expecting that is the only way for him to destroy Go. He needs to connect one with his father with his dust and become all father for Thor.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that from a narrative point of view, they wanted a clean way to get the kids out of there without them just sitting in a corner, like because the
Hmm.
camera forgot them, and they're like, oh, and the kids were gone. Like,
Hmm.
okay, we need to write them out cleanly. And Thor doesn't have time to battle with the little minions. He's going straight for gore. So, dot, amazing, chaotic children battling demonic entities. Amazing.
Yes, they they did finish this movie thanks to also the after credits with Zeus is not dead, or at
Of
least he
course not.
doesn't look dead. Jane Jane is in Valhalla. Someone I
Hmm.
did see someone say like as a joke, he was like the girl who was fighting and like, oh, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go to Valhalla, and they're like, no, your arm is probably in Valhalla. So someone was joking, hey, here's her arm. But anyways, they finished the movie that it looks like we might have Thor 5. And I totally forgot to say, as of right now, in every Marvel movie, even Sony and all that, Thor is the only movie, the only character that has 4 films.
Hmm.
The only one.
Spider-Man will probably be the next one.
Well, I think they announced 3 more for Spider-Man, but I mean, like the same actor. Now they did announce in the Comic-Con Captain America, uh, New World Order, which is going to be the 4th Captain America, but it's with a new actor who plays Captain America, so you can kind of say this is Captain
Interesting.
America 1. So Sam
Hmm.
Wilson is now Captain America.
Yeah.
So it is Captain America 4, but it's a different actor, so it's not really Captain America 4. But yeah, they did finish this with a potential Thor 5, and that's I believe that's it when it comes to the movies to the movie.
Hmm. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I
It is
guess.
interesting that Thor, out of all the characters, I mean, Iron Man, he did, but like I mean, obviously, Endgame was more like kind of his final film, obviously, but it was like it was kind of like another Iron Man movie, but it just with
Mhm.
a lot of other things, but the focus wasn't entirely on it. But nonetheless, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for the movie. And like I said, we're gonna briefly talk about what we saw in on Comic-Con, what they told us, and to try to explain any confusion about anything, if there are any confusions. But anyways, they first started off with telling us we are coming to a close with phase 4. So phase 4, so had it started with WandaVision, and
Hmm.
now we are with Thor: Love and Thunder. The upcoming project after Thor: Love and Thunder is the TV show She-Hulk: Attorney at Law that will come
Is
out.
that arc 5 now, or into
No, no,
phase 5?
this is still Phase 4. We're still,
So all the stuff that's queued up is still phase 4, and then the
yeah,
next projects. Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
So we are gonna finish this year and close off this year with closing off Phase 4. So later this year, the TV show She-Hulk Attorney at Law will come out.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, 9 episodes. Personally, for me, seeing the trailers, the CGI looks horrible. I'm not excited for that. But at the end of the trailer, we probably do see Daredevil. And it makes sense because he's a lawyer himself. So
Yeah.
it definitely makes
He
sense.
better be. And
Yeah.
it'll probably be the only good thing about the show.
Yeah. After that, we close, and this is what closes off phase 4 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And they also released a trailer for that. And it looks like they're gonna explain to us Chadwick Boseman, his character's death in the movie. Because obviously the actor did die in real life. But
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. It does look that they're gonna do like a little funeral scene over there. So that would be interesting. I don't know when these shows take place in chronological order. I will only know once we see the TV shows and movies. So as of right now, this is when everything is being released.
Yeah.
And now we begin phase 5. We open phase 5 with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, which will come out in 2023, early 2023. And after that, the TV show, are you ready?
Yep.
Secret Invasion 2023.
Okay.
Which had a lot of people really hyped. After that, we have, as what the James Gunn told us, the last movie of Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 2023. And thanks to the TV show Hawkeye, we are now getting another TV show called Echo that coming out in 2023. And then we have Loki season 2 also coming out in 2023, which is amazing.
Very excited.
Yes, that I'm very excited. They did an amazing job with the first season, and I'm really all hyped for this. After that, we have the Marvels. It's a movie where we'll see Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and I forget her name.
That's a departure. Interesting. All right.
Yeah. So also the Monica Rambeau from WandaVision.
Okay.
This movie will also come out in 2023. After that, finally, Blade is coming. Yes.
Well, I mean, that was teased in the Eternals.
It was teased, but last time we saw Blade is the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you think that'll be a Blade solo, or do you think that'll include the Black Knight?
I think it'll be a solo. Like I don't think it will continue that storyline. I think that storyline from the 90s, it's like a different universe.
It's its own thing.
Yeah. But after Blade, we are going to have the TV show Iron Heart comes out in 2023, which is basically, a Black Panther Iron Man kind of style, I guess.
All right.
And thanks to WandaVision, guess what we're getting? We're getting another TV show called Agatha, the Covenant of Chaos.
Yeah. I did know about that. Looking forward to that. I do like the magic side of Marvel, though it is not the best film in the MCU. Doctor Strange is my favorite MCU character.
Really?
Yes. And I love the movie.
That's interesting. Nice. I have a lot of pop dolls myself.
Just for our audience at home, I just pulled up a pop guy of Doctor Strange.
I have Groot, Thanos, Thor, and so many more. I have a lot of Lord of the Rings as well.
That's cool. I got Bulbasaur, Boba Fett, and a Venom version of Doctor Strange.
So nice. So after Agatha, the TV show, they announced nice. That's cool.
Anyways, what else did they announce?
So after Agatha, the TV show that comes out in 2023, they announced a TV show that is going to have the longest episodes, 18 episodes overall, season one.
That's quite the promise.
And it is Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. All right. With the same actor?
The same actor who played in
Hell
Daredevil
yeah.
and the Netflix original. And this is something I want to explain over here, for any confusion. So Netflix made a lot of Marvel TV shows, originals,
Yeah.
and now because Disney owns Marvel, they basically said, "Hey, give it to us." So Marvel is gonna get the money, and Netflix is gonna get no credit. But they did an amazing show. For
Yeah.
Daredevil, there was 3 seasons, and here came the big conflict of, is this going to be season 4 or is this going to be season 1? It's continue again.
Mm,
And I have to say that this is going to be season 1. It's not going to
probably.
it's not going to continue what Netflix did, even though what Netflix did is in
It's
the
probably still going to be continuity, but just.
no. So from my understanding, what Netflix did is Marvel, obviously, but it's like as
Mhm.
if a different universe. So our
Mm,
main universe, as they told us in Doctor Strange, is 616.
yeah.
So all the other Marvel shows and TV shows are a different universe.
Hmm.
So they don't affect the main timeline 616. They affect their own timeline. But this
Yeah.
is but this saga is the multiverse saga, which they did announce and confirmed officially. We are in the multiverse saga. So there could be a potential we see Chris Evans comes again as
Hmm.
the Human Torch.
Oh my god. All I want to see is Spider-Man swinging with Daredevil in a like cult
Yes.
classic
Wi-
homage to the
Also
comics.
with Deadpool.
Hmm. I'm
The
less stoked about that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Interesting. Well, hey, we got an official X-Men, so
Yes,
Xavier.
I do want to touch about all the X-Men and animated shows, but let's first finish this list.
Yeah, yeah.
So after Daredevil, Born Again, 18 episodes TV show, we get Captain America: New World Order, and after that, which comes out in 2024, and after that we have the Thunderbolts, which comes out in 2024 as well.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
Thunderbolts is what
So much
closes.
to.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is what closes the Phase 5, and
Oh
they
man.
they did announce what opens Phase 6 and what closes Phase 6. So they told us the opening and the ending. So what opens Phase 6 is Fantastic Four that comes out in 2024,
Right. Okay.
and what closes Phase 6 is Avengers: Kane Dynasty, comes out
Okay.
in 2025. And after that is Avengers Secret Wars 2025.
Secret Wars. Yeah. See. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I was. Okay. Besides the symbiote stuff, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because that's multiverse. Oh my
it's
gosh.
yes, it's a lot of hype. It's basically 2 years to wait. We have about 3 years
The real
until
question is, are they going to be able to pull it off successfully? Because that's a very convoluted storyline that if you don't play your cards right, you're going to have a lot of people detach because it's a lot to consider to build the stakes properly for people to actually care about.
I believe they can do it successfully as long as Sony won't fuck it up.
Do
Because
you think it will be as impactful as Endgame?
I believe it has the potential to be bigger.
Bigger is not always better, though.
I
I mean,
know.
obviously, this was threat
No, no,
level
no, no. I
one
mean like
Titan, but
no, I mean like bigger, like better, like in that sort of
mm-hmm.
way. Like I
I feel you.
believe
I feel
like
you.
the hype and the intensity, and I believe it could be bigger than Endgame and Infinity War. I personally loved Infinity War than Endgame.
Yeah, it was a good setup. I really enjoyed it as well. I can understand that. Any mention about Shang-Chi and what he's up to? Because I recently rewatched that film and I found that I liked it a lot more than the first time I watched it.
Really?
Really?
I guess I'll have to watch. I didn't really like the movie as well.
I didn't
You
like the
should.
ending,
So
and like I
because
still don't, but still.
so since you did see Shang-Chi again, I do suggest watch Miss Marvel, even though it is trash,
Okay,
because
good. All right.
they do reflect one another.
Interesting. Okay, I will. Is okay. I think I understand what you're saying. It's the bracelet thing, right?
Not just the bracelet. There's also like markings, like let's say on the ground, that is the 10, the Mandarin, symbol.
Uh,
You
I
see
I
that quite
like
a
the
lot.
Mandalorian, so I feel like a continuation would be really really fantastic.
Yes. So this is basically what Marvel announced on their second panel, basically the bigger picture. But they also announced separate TV shows that do not affect the timeline, the 616 timeline, and it's
Hmm.
animated TV shows. So
Oh right.
they told us we're gonna get a 5 episode short miniseries of I Am Groot, which
Right, I saw. I just whipped it up on the computer. I saw a little sticker that was like, "Pardon."
yeah,
Okay.
so that show does take place in 616 universe, but
Hmm.
it's not
It's
like
Baby
canon,
Groot.
but it's not like canon to affect the story. So it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something I have to see to understand the bigger story. It is because Disney does own Marvel now, and we know Disney love to do like little short stories, like the
Hmm.
old person plays chess against himself.
Very good
Ve-
reference. Yes.
So this is basically the same thing, only about Groot, and it's
Nice.
like
Okay.
five episode. It's short episodes, so I believe between 5 to 10 minutes each episode.
Interesting.
So
Kind of like what the boys did.
yeah,
All right.
and then they also announced the season 2 of What If, which we know it takes place
Yeah.
in different universes, so
Mm-hmm.
doesn't affect the main storyline of 616.
Hmm.
Then
Random question. I mean,
yeah,
obviously it's not because it's a very different character, but it's Doctor Strange that we saw in the dark world of Doctor Strange in
mhm.
the multiverse of madness. Uh, you know, any relation? Do you think, or no?
No
No.
relations, because the one in What If, he destroyed his world. Yes, this one in the movie
Mhm.
also destroyed his world, but he was now kept in a little like glass ball, which
Yeah,
this one didn't. And also the one that was kept in the glass ball, he had his
is
own
keeping track of
mission.
Ultron. Yeah,
Exactly. So therefore, I don't believe they are the same.
that is fair enough.
Yeah. But that so after that they did announce another show, another called the Marvel Zombies Marvel,
Mm. Oh
something like
no,
that.
really
So
milking the cow now. Them
exactly.
utters.
So imagine the main storyline, and then you have
Yeah.
side stories, which
Mm.
are basically just for fun. They don't affect the main storyline, and
Yeah.
these are the basically the stories. So basically, What If season 1, 2, and they did announce season 3 as well, they don't affect the bigger story. Yes, you can watch if you want to understand the multiverse even better, but you
Yeah.
don't have to.
With
They
hints
all
and Easter eggs all scattered throughout, most likely.
Yeah, they did after that did announce a Spider-Man freshman year, also animated,
Freshman
which
year. Oh no.
which Tom Holland will not play his role. And
What?
yeah, he won't. And in this TV show, animated TV show, we
Oh,
are going,
animated.
yeah, in this TV show, we are going to have Oscorp, which we know in our timeline, like we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home, Oscorp does not exist.
Yep.
Therefore, this is another type of, as What If, but only in Spider-Man.
Mhm.
It's not called What If, but it is
A different
basically,
universe.
yeah, different
That's kind of
universe.
unfortunate because where they ended the last Spider-Man is where we all know and love Peter Parker from.
Mhm.
This kid who lives in his own apartment. It, in this world it's a little different because he doesn't have Aunt May still, but like nobody knows him. He's a no one. He's his persona as Spider-Man is held intact, and the struggling Peter just existing on his own kind of deal and
Yeah.
making his own way. Like that would be a really cool place to check off from. Like
No,
but
I
we'll
I
see
believe
that eventually.
I believe they will in future movies, but not animated. Like this
Yeah.
again, these are animated TV shows for the fun of it, side stories that don't affect the
Mm,
main picture, the main plot. So,
good to know.
and then you also have X-Men. They are continuing the 90s TV show X-Men. So this is
Oh,
called,
interesting.
yes. So the X-Men from the 90s, if I remember, ended in a cliffhanger,
Hmm.
and that's it. So they're basically revising that and continuing from that cliffhanger, and it's going to be called X-Men 97 as the year 97. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're continuing that storyline. Again, does not affect the main 616 plot.
But they're coming. The
But
mutants are coming.
the mutants are coming, which is very, very interesting.
Which also
And
could lead to the Wanda no more mutants whole dilemma,
um I was
especially with
hoping
the Phoenix Forks.
I was hoping to see in Doctor Strange, but we didn't. But yes, I hope we will see no more mutants, even though up till now we didn't have mutants. So maybe she will do like we will have mutants.
I think my theory, well, I don't know, but I think because the way that the worlds work and the fact that they've introduced in not inclusions, but where the worlds
Incursions.
collapse,
Incursion.
incursions, where they collapse on themselves, that they have potential effects on the outer
Yes.
verse. That maybe the X gene will probably be result in by one of
I
these things.
I most definitely hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. There's a lot of hype and expectations that they gave us up till the year 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting, very exciting. I already put in my calendar on when each movie is being released. So I know
Are we
like,
gonna go
okay,
see these together? You gonna invite
I
me?
I would love to. I wouldn't mind driving like we can meet in the middle, like drive halfway through and
Yeah.
watch
I mean, there's
watch.
a theater in Netanya that I really like. It's really comfy.
Yeah, we could
Uh,
totally do that. I would love to. And
yeah. All
we
right.
can kidnap Adam as well, my older
Absolutely.
brother. Yes.
It's okay. Well, we'll get them. All that I think, all to say. I just wanted to say like from certain things like for me like where the movie struggled, not necessarily in pacing, but like the exploration of the story of like, okay, like how difficult was this battle or is this battle with cancer, and like what more thoughts could there be, like some more, because it's a real thing and people really do struggle with it, and I think it was too light of a brush. Like we know it was difficult, and like for the sake of the story they had to brush over it, but I think they could have been a little more insightful, similar to Gore's story, almost parallel the two, because they're it's the deterioration of the body of belief in both either the medical system or the religious system or things of that nature. I did think Taika Waititi played up a few things a little too much, especially with the Korg character, his self-insertion, pat on the back. I'm a funny character. Everybody loves me. I'm going to be in almost every scene. It's like, all right, cool, cool. Um, but at the same time, whatever. Like you could do that. If you could do that, why not? We're all going to be the sheep to watch and just nod our heads and go, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously seeing Zeus, not die on screen meant that he was coming back. I don't think that's a big deal. Like he was such a small part for what they needed. It was a little more exploration or something within the world of the gods would have been interesting, so that you could get your justification on certain factors about history in the
Mhm.
world. I think that would have been more a better justification, because they didn't have, between exploring the worlds of the gods versus them going to the climax of the film, wasn't much. And then because you had the two scenes where Thor and Jane kind of make up, but it would have been better just to cut the first one out and have them kiss and make up at the end. kind of deal would probably have made it more empowering. Uh, I don't know. Other than that, like again, like I had said, I usually walk into films with my expectation low so that they can usually surpass them. So I can be like, oh, I enjoyed it on these things. I had a relatively good time. So ultimately, those are more or less my final thoughts. I don't know. I enjoyed. I like the visuals. I like swords. I don't know.
No, so I'm more or less the same as you. Yes, I had more expectations, not like the movie to be good, but more like here information you gave us. Now
Mm,
this is like Moon Knight is all about gods, Egyptian gods specifically. Oh,
specifically.
let's see the gods over here. We didn't have any mentions of gods. Like they did say, oh, he is like the Egyptian god. I forget his name, and that's it. It's like you could have given us a bit more like here about Moon Knight over here, or other gods who are relevant to the shows, but
Yeah.
you didn't. So in that aspect, I was disappointed. The movie itself is a good movie. It's a fun movie. I would say it's a better movie being drunk or high. Um, because of the visual and all the jokes here and there.
Mm,
It is a fun movie, but Ragnarok for me was better.
hmm I think there is definitely more stakes involved, especially since we didn't understand like seeing Helena like
Mhm.
break Mjolnir and then like having him cast aside and having him try and find himself. It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
yeah. I believe we got to the end of our episode.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I am your host Joel, and with me today, Moses Moon.
Hey guys, it's been a pleasure.
It definitely has been. Thank you so much, man. Tell us about your radio and plugin.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, you can find me at The Voice on Reforge Radio on The Voice. I run 3 programs, The Forge, The Crucible, and The Quench. Once again, on The Voice, you can find that app or application on High Adventure Ministries. Just type that into Google App Store and you'll find the app. And the show is Monday through Friday. And we have it at 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Israeli Standard Time. And you can find me also at Reforge Radio on Instagram, or you can look at me, Moses is the Moon, also on Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for having me, Joel. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
It's always wonderful. I look forward to the next episode.
Me too. Thank you. And I'm, like I said, Joel, the host of this podcast. Spoilers, obviously. I do have another podcast in Hebrew, same concept, called Spoiler Minastam. I'll put all the links in the bio. Until then, see you guys later. Yalla bye.